And when the drum starts beating that beat, he nails that beat with syncopated rhythm with a rat tat 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 on the drum. Yeah, yeah, let me be alright. Come on, let me hear you sing it away. That's right,
Open up your eyes, then you'll realize here I stand with my
everlasting love. Need you by my side, always be my bride. You'll never be denied. Everlasting love.
Get on your feet.
Hi, I am Mike Isaacson, the artistic director and executive producer of the Muny, and it is my honor and privilege and incredibly big joy to share with you tonight the Muny's 104th season. That's actually the first time I've seen that video in more than a few weeks, and it's deeply moving to me because our 103rd season was in many ways a triumph, a real moment of history. And it just reminded all of us of how magical in the audience and backstage the Muny community is. And to everybody who was a part of that season, who may be watching tonight, and people were texting all day and saying, we've been watching around the world, Japan, the UK, backstage at Broadway shows, with my heart, thank you. Thank you for that extraordinary season and everything we accomplished together. It was incredible, which is the perfect way to lead into the first show of the 104th season. As many of you know, we closed our season with Kander and Ebb's Chicago, an amazing, brilliant American musical. And unfortunately, we had a rain out, and then we had to cancel the last 3 performances. So we only got 3 shows out of 7 in, so 4 weren't there. So there's a journey we need to complete. And so we're gonna open next season. Amy, let's show it to them. We're gonna open our next season with Chicago. It was an extraordinary production, directed and choreographed by Dennis Jones. The audience went out of their minds at the 3 performances we were at. The critics went nuts. Let's show them some of our incredible quotes. Musical, theater, magical, downright breathtaking, razzle dazzle trip. It was truly spectacular. And so literally on that weekend where we had to close down because of COVID, and I have to acknowledge by the end of that weekend, we were very fortunate to be able to do the show in the first place. The Broadway producers, Barry and Fran Weisler and the amazing Alicia Parker, had allowed us to do the show. And I called them and I explained what happened. And I said, there's a journey here we have to finish. It's just magical and important to us. And could we open our next season with it? And I'm very grateful to them for allowing us to do that. And Dennis Jones is gonna come back and we're gonna have that production. I know a question probably for everybody's, will it be the same cast? Everybody is invited back. We're hoping they will. It's about future and scheduling and getting it done. So we'll have more information that on the spring, but fingers crossed, everybody comes back. So we're really gonna, kick off right where we left off, which will be fantastic. The second show of the 104th season is an amazing classic show that's been done about 6 times in the Muny canon. Let's show it up. Lerner and Loewe's classic Camelot. A stunning story, a beautiful story, a love triangle. Let's show some pictures from the past. There's 2009, 1995, 2002. It's an incredible, beautiful story with songs like, the title song, What Do the Simple Folk Do? If Ever I Would Leave You. And it's really amazing to reread that script after all these years, because it's about people trying to create a world that maybe is more just and maybe is more beautiful and maybe gives more opportunity, and how they strive to do that and how they succeed and how they fail. It is beautiful, and I cannot wait. It'll be our first production of this show in 13 years. And it's interesting to note in doing the research, When the first time it played the Muny in 1965, it played for 3 weeks. That's how popular the show was. Now, as you also know, when we announced our 2020 season, and then we had to cancel that and go online, and then we did 2021, there were some shows that we kept saying, okay, they're to come. We promise we need to move them back. Here's the first one, our next show of our, there it is, Disney and Cameron Mackintosh's glorious Mary Poppins. With that beautiful score, supercalifragilistic, you know them all. And what's remarkable about the show, particularly on stage, is it invites everybody to join in the magic, everybody to play make-believe. And our last production was in 2013. Here's some pictures from that with the amazing Jenny Powers, and there was Rob McClure. And it's really remarkable to think that when we do this show in 2022, 25 to 30% of the audience probably wasn't even born when we did that production. And that's the power of these shows at the Muny. I can't tell you the number of times people will come up to me with a child and say, this is their first time at the Muny, or it brought them to their first Muny show. It's incredibly beautiful and powerful. On to the next one, which is, drum roll, go for it, Ames. Sweeney Todd, a musical thriller, The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, another show that has been delayed throughout the years. We've postponed it twice. We are absolutely going to do it this year. And when we first announced it in 2019, as they informed me, the social media went insane. Look at these quotes. People went nuts for this thing. This is my favorite. I'm literally begging. All I want for my birthday is Sweeney Todd. Like, I want to meet you if that's what you want for your birthday. If you don't know the show, it is a landmark of the American musical theater. It is an incredible drama. It is incredible funny. It's Stephen Sondheim's arguably his greatest score. And on our stage with the full Muny orchestra with those glorious melodies and all of that drama, I cannot wait. And this is the Muny premiere. It's the first time it's been on the Muny stage since it opened on Broadway in 1979 and won 8 Tony Awards. It's been done throughout the world. It is a classic. So we are thrilled to do that. So now our next show, let's bring it up, Ames. Here we go. Legally Blonde, the musical, July 25th through the 31st. This will be the second Muny production, the first being in 2011. I have to acknowledge that this show is very personal for me. I was part of one of the original Broadway producers. And for me, the inspiration of wanting to do the show, and this was back in 2000, I'm going to say 4 when we started on that journey. I had 3 beautiful young nieces, and I was looking at all the messages that they were getting through pop culture and the world. And I looked at what Legally Blonde offered them, and I thought, I want to be a part of this show. I want to give this message to the show. And it's very interesting since the original film and now the musical, what's been written about the impact of this film on so many women, particularly the number of women who've literally gone to law school because of Legally Blonde. The show is fantastically funny, an incredibly witty score by Larry O'Keefe and Nell Benjamin, a book by Heather Hawk, and it's just a beautiful, fun night with also some really, truly meaningful ideas and meaning. So I'm so excited to create that for the first time since I've been here on the Muny stage. All right, let's bring up the next one. Another Muny premiere. This is beyond thrilling. It is the premiere of Alice Walker's incredible The Color Purple. Now, if you know the history of The Color Purple, it was first a 1984 novel that won the Pulitzer Prize. Let's go to the next slide, Ames. There it is. And then it became it was 82 was the novel. It became a film in 85. Its first time it was on Broadway was in 2004. And then in 2016, it was again on Broadway in a highly lauded revival that introduced Cynthia Erivo to the world, or not to the world, but to the American audiences, and sort of launched her as the superstar she is today with Jennifer Hudson and Danielle Brooks. This is a seminal, important American novel. It is a beautiful story of struggle and sacrifice and truth and finding one's place in the world. You know, at the end of it, Celie sings, "I'm beautiful and I'm here," and your heart's going to melt. I cannot wait to host this. And again, this is another Muny premiere, first time on our stage. And then finally, the 7th show of the season. Let's bring it up. the return of Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. This is our first production since 2012. This is Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice's first show. And what's interesting about Joseph is, what I love about it, I told somebody the other day that we were doing Joseph, and you immediately hear, I love that show. I love that show. And there's something truly childlike about it. And if you know the history of it, they didn't write it as a show. They wrote it as a bunch of songs for kids to sing in school. And it became so popular with kids in Britain that they sort of pieced together the album, and then the album ended up on stage, and it kept growing and growing in popularity. And there's just something about that show that makes us all feel young and joyous. And I think it's a brilliant way to end that season. So, okay, let's put all the logos up there. These are by my brilliant colleagues, Amy and Judy. Look at that. Look at that season. I am so thrilled. It's going to be incredibly exciting. And the fact that we are back, we are going to do 7 shows. We're going to give you everything we've got to offer. I am so happy. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of questions. So a couple of answers, a lot of actors. If you go to our website tonight, you can find out about our audition process, what it's going to be for this next season. It's going to be very different because of remaining COVID restrictions. So please read through, and we'll do that. Also, there's many ways to connect with us on social. We'd love to hear your reaction. So, let's hear it. We'd love to know what you think of our season. And finally, I just want to end with actually a quote from Legally Blonde, the musical. My favorite quote in the show, the years. At the end of the show, Elle stands before her classmates and she sings, "Thanks for your faith in your company," which I've always found the most beautiful line. I extend that to you from all of us at the Muny. We are so thrilled at this season. Please come join us. We're going to have a fantastic, magical, exciting summer. I invite you all. And here we go. Thank you so much for giving us time. And we never get to do this. I'm going to give you a hint. We're going to show you some clips from our production of Chicago to exit. I never have clips from shows to show you because they're all new. But here it is from this season's production of Chicago. Thank you so much. Good night, and we'll see you next summer.
Come on, babe, why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down. And all that jazz,
In case she doesn't hang.
Can say she started with a bang. Foxy
Heart.
And the folks atop the ladder are the ones the world adores. So boost me up my ladder, kid, and I'll boost you up yours.
I don't care about expensive things, cashmere coats, diamond rings don't mean a thing. All I care about is love. That's what I'm here for. I don't care for wearing silk cravats, ruby studs, satin spats don't mean a thing. All I care about is love.
All he cares about is love. The dirty bomb, 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 bomb. The dirty bomb, 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 bomb. They had it come, 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 they had it come along. Nothing they use, and they abuse, How could you tell us that we were wrong? Takes the taking time with one another, for under every mean veneer is someone more than a dear. Keep looking.
and we say, okay, fellas, keep your socks up. You ain't seen nothing yet. But I simply cannot do it alone. Mr. Cellophane should have been my name, Mr. Cellophane, 'cause you can look right through me. me, walk right by me, and never know I'm there. Give 'em the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle. Give 'em an act that's unassailable. They'll wait a year till you're available.